So it is night number 1 of the 2021 Fall Nationals here at the Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California. And tonight is actually the first ever time the 18T will turn laps around this racetrack. And it's actually really cool because I have a lot of experience racing my Outlaw kart in this area. Red Bluff is just an hour up the road and Cyclin is just 15 minutes away. So I've grown up racing in Northern California. So it's really cool to kind of make the jump in the sprint car and race here at the Silver Dollar Speedway. But welcome back to today's video. Tonight we have about 50 360 sprint cars in the pit area. So a huge car count, tons of competition. And it sounds like they're going to be doing a World of Outlaws format where they split the cars into 2 flights, flight A, flight B. You need to try to qualify as good as you can to start up front in your heat race. And also to give you a little description on this racetrack, it's very, very tight, quarter mile, not super wide, but it does have a little bit of banking at the top, so you can run right around the lip, and you can also try to roll the bottom if there's grip down there. But we are going to be getting after it. Super excited to try once again a new racetrack in 2021. It sounds like the pit meeting is in just a couple of minutes. Then we're going to have engine heat, hot laps, and then we are one of the last cars to qualify here tonight because we are in flight B and there's not too many people behind us. Let's get night number 1 of the Fall Nationals started.
I don't know if anyone told you, there's a rut going into turn 3, so you got to go above it. You don't really want to go below it. But you don't want to hit it just on, so right above it.
To everyone that's going to ask why I did not try to complete a second lap and go backwards and get another run at it, first off, I 100% should have done that. The only reason I didn't is I had kind of one of those moments, I'm not going to lie, that biking actually scared me because I 100% thought I was going over. But once the car set down in the fluff, it felt like something was broken. And so immediately I had one of those moments. I'm like, it's better for me to pull back to the pits and make sure that something is not wrong than for me to go and risk it and take a second lap. And maybe I do completely wear out the race car and yard sale it because I was being a little bit careless. So realistically, I should have done another lap, but in the moment, things just did not feel right and I did not want to risk it. Well, you guys saw my qualifying lap riding along with me on the onboard. It actually felt like that first lap was going to be really, really good. To kind of walk you through it, we were literally the second to last car to go out. So I think we were the 65th out of 66 360s. To roll out, we had about 20 more than I was expecting when I initially started the video. And there was this little rut kind of developing entering 3, and it seemed like guys were finally starting able to go above it towards the end. And so that was my goal, but 1 and 2 looked fairly simple. It just started moving up, but track was still lightning quick, and it was actually getting a little bit quicker. So I got out there, rolled through 1 and 2, felt good. We actually added stagger after hot laps to just keep the car free. I talked about on these California bull rings, it's so important to keep your race car loose so you can maneuver and run the right line. So we added stagger, we freed up the race car, went out there, and I got through 1 and 2 good. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a solid lap. We're gonna be in a good spot. And I went into turn 3, and actually my car turned really good. I just needed to go farther into the corner before I turned, because what happened was I felt like I was in a good spot, and it actually, when I turned across the track, and I ended up just hitting the rut at probably the worst possible time as I was entering the corner. Instead of even just catching it with my left rear, it's like it lifted the car off the ground and it just bounced real bad, maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't even know if I could have recreated what happened if I went out there and actually tried to do it. So just my mistake. I know exactly what I did wrong, and because of that, with this format, you had to be in the top 24 in your flight to make a heat race. So now we're going to be in the back of a C main. So we're just going to try to learn some more stuff tonight and hopefully try to make it through the C. So it sucks, it's frustrating, it's disappointing. It's a lot of emotions, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and now we have to try to take everything we can learn tonight and put it towards tomorrow, but also focus on the C main. So that's going to be coming up here really soon. Now, real quickly, I want to add a little bit more context to the whole situation of qualifying, because obviously my older sister came to me and said, hey, you need to drive above the rut, and I drove through it, not on purpose. I just didn't realize how far I really needed to go into the corner to avoid it. And it's just really difficult to see. It's not a clear hole in the track. It's more of a dip in the material, and it just really upsets your race car, and how I hit it was probably the worst way possible. And at the end of the day, it just is what it is. Now, before we head back to the racetrack, I do want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Race Day Rub. Now, if you haven't heard about Race Day Rub, they are a premium American-made barbecue seasoning that is 100% themed around racing. Now, Race Day Rub has 4 different seasonings in their collection, and my family has tried all 4 of them. Our favorites are probably the Turn 1 or the Turn 2, because no matter what, throughout the week, at some point, we're probably grilling up some steaks, some burgers, or some chicken. So those have been delicious. Another thing I love about Race Day Rub is their mission called Grilling for Good. Now, Grilling for Good is a nonprofit organization that donates every single penny they make to local, regional, and national charities throughout the United States. It's awesome that they use their hard work for good. Now, this is how Race Day Rub is going to be hooking it up for you, the viewer, today. You can head on over to their website, grillingforgood.com, and use code TANNER for 18% off your order at checkout. That's TANNER for 18% off your order. You can check out their 4 seasonings individually, or you can purchase them all together as a collection. Thank you so much, Race Day Rub. Let's head back to the Silver Dollar Speedway. So I just got all strapped in for the C main event. The racetrack is very, very fast. It hasn't really slickened off, and I think one thing that contributed to that was once the sun went down, being in October, you know, the sun goes down much earlier than in the summertime, and so now it cooled off a bunch, and the racetrack is just not really burning off. It's just really, really fast, wide open. So we just got to try to find a good line here in this C main. They have 2 C mains, and there's 20 cars in each of them, and we start like 19th or 20th. So we start dead last. Like I said, main goal here, survive this C main and just try to get some laps to prepare ourselves for tomorrow and just get some experience around Chico, because we only have like 1 lap at true full speed, or I would probably actually say like half a lap. So C main's gonna be up next. Let's go have some fun and try to see if our adjustments we made just to keep the car free are gonna help. C main is complete. I'm not happy with our night. As I said kind of before, it's all disappointing and frustrating, but at least I got some more laps around the Silver Dollar Speedway. You know, as I mentioned there right before we went out for the lower main, I only had, I mean, my hot laps, I had hot laps, but it's greasy still, and you can't really run at full potential, so you just are a little unsure, you know, being at a new track. And this is kind of what it looked like all night long. I had 20 tear-offs on there for the C main, which was 12 laps. And I think I probably went through about 10 of them, it looks like. So pretty juiced up. That's something that we're really trying to get better at. But I think the positives, because you guys know, I'm not a negative person. I like to find the good in things. And even though, you know, I'm disappointed with our night, frustrating, we didn't qualify good, but we did some stuff to the race car that I felt like ran really good on a hooked up track. We weren't too tight. We were able to maneuver. In the C main, I was able to run a couple of different lines. I know things I could have done better as well. I was really good in 1 and 2. I just need to be better in 3 and 4. And a lot of that's behind the wheel, driving a little bit harder and finding a better line. As you guys can imagine, I was a little hesitant to move around in 3 and 4 after what happened in qualifying, but that's just something you have to overcome. So we ran 5th in the C there, I think, from 19th. So we passed cars. I expected us to pass cars in a C main because we do have some speed, but anyway, just a night to build off of, and I think I know we're a little bit more prepared going into tomorrow, and we just gotta try to put together a full night with the competition we're up against. Well, the race trailer's all loaded up after night number 1 of the Fall Nationals. To kind of recap night number 1, you guys saw a little bit of a quicker night for us, especially with their outlaw format, and how if you don't qualify in the top 24 in your flight, you're straight to a C main event and you're starting deep. And obviously, I don't have to really repeat it. Qualifying ruined it for us. If I could have maybe got through that lap or just got one lap that was decent, you know, I could have been in a heat race and tried to make some progress there or make something happen. But unfortunately, that was not the case. You live and learn. I would go back and do that entry to 3 100 times different and do it different every single time and just not do what I did. But like I said, you move on. You can't let things like that hang up. One thing to mention is our team is always so good when we go to a racetrack for the second time, whether that's back-to-back nights like the Fall Nationals or even just seeing a new racetrack and then getting to come back to it sometime later that season or the following year. Between 2020 and 2021, I've seen so many different racetracks, but it's always a different case scenario when I'm able to come back to a place for the second time. I just feel so much more confident and comfortable in the seat, and I feel like I can attack the track much more. So we're going to try to do that tomorrow for Fall Nationals, night number 2. Thank you to everyone for riding along with me for my journey. Just want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors, Pit Stop USA, Next Gen Def, Carson Oil, Fast 4 Media, On-Site Screeners, Earth Environmental, OMA KTM, Lafarge North America, ABC Powder Coating, as well as my crew for helping and not giving up on me after, you know, my mistake in qualifying that put us so far behind the 8 ball. So we took everything we learned tonight, the couple of notes, what we did to keep the race car getting around the place, the Silver Dollar Speedway, and now we're going to apply it to tomorrow, and hopefully we can just put it all together and have a good shot at running up front in the A main event for the Fall Nationals finale. As I said though, thank you guys for watching, following along with us for our journey. To all the Northern California fans that came out for the Friday show, we hope to see you guys back tomorrow, and I want to thank you just for everything you guys do. See you all in the next one. Deuces.